This episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com, authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of Nak Muay. Go check it out. So Wadi Kop, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast.
Amen.
Okay, today, so we have our old student, Carody Irish. How you doing today, Carody? She's mad.
Hey, what's up?
Your video froze, by the way. You're making like the most smug face. We were just beginning. There we are. I can see you again. We were beginning to discuss murder hornets. How I had one in my house the day before this came out.
I'm curious to know how you managed it.
Well, I didn't know it was a murder hornet. I didn't even know that was a thing. So like, the news was late by one day on that. So I took so I had this cup, I think. So I reused my was it coconut oil jars for like drinks, obviously.
Yeah. And
I took the jar and just put it over because it was just hovering in the window. It's like that's what was making the buzzing sound. So I just trapped it and put a piece of paper, and I went outside and just went and then closed the door real quick. And it flew away.
Release the murder hornet.
Yeah, release the murder hornets. But yeah, so that's where that leads us to. So for those that don't know Carody, she's trained with us when was the gym still green, the academy, or was it painted?
Yeah, it was green and black. Yeah,
green and black. So there was that. What year was that? Is that 2014 or 15? Yeah, 2015. Yeah. Beginning of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and did you have any Muay Thai experience or anything like that before?
No, I'd done some boxing in Sacramento. I think it was called Prime Time. And I think I tried to go to a Muay Thai gym in Sacramento, but for some reason it didn't happen. So when I moved to Ventura, it was like what I wanted to try out.
Yeah. It was funny because you remember like, I did boxing before. I guess this is cool.
First of all, I'm for sure I was not like that. But yeah, so that was my first. I didn't even know you could fight. I didn't know there was I didn't know the culture existed, really.
You didn't know about the fight game?
I didn't.
I guess you could call it that. Not really a game, but the fight world or fight scene.
It's gamey sometimes.
Okay. It is. So how did you end up finding our place?
You don't remember? Are you going to make me tell the story?
Yeah, you have to tell the story. I think it's hilarious.
I got invited on a Tinder date to Pu'u Muay Thai.
Wait, say that again. You got what to what at Pu'u Muay Thai?
Invited on a Tinder date. Thank you. by someone that is well known to you at the time. So
yes.
let's not do that.
You don't have to drop names.
No name dropping. And it was like a Saturday morning class, and he didn't show up.
Stood up at the Muay Thai gym.
But it was all worth it because I found Muay Thai.
Yeah, so you started training Muay Thai, and I remember at the end of class, you're like, so I guess I'll sign up. I guess I'll enroll. Like, how do I do that? That's why I remember you, and you're like putting up your hair like after training. So, and then I guess I understand your demeanor a little bit more once I realized that you'd been stood up on a Tinder date. So.
Yeah, I remember feeling exhausted. I definitely remember being like, oh my gosh, that was so hard. But there's just such a level of like looking around and seeing, people that have been training a while and how cool they look and how effortless it looks. And you're just like, it's it was like inspiring. I was like, man, I want to get good and be cool like Joey.
And Natalie.
I want to look cool. I want to look cool like Natalie and Christian. And so that was a big part of it, is obviously because I'm uber competitive and everything. But
yeah. Well, I was stoked to have you then. That was a crazy time for sure. So when you first started training, like that was your motivation to start. You're like, oh, this looks fun. It's really hard. You'd boxed before. And then I think, I don't remember the exact timeline, so feel free to fill in the gaps. But all of a sudden you're like, I want to be like Ronda Rousey.
It's so true.
When she was
I
big
really think it was like 1 month in.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we can compete. I'm going to compete. And you were like, maybe you should take a deep breath. Maybe you should give it a moment. And I was like, nah, I'm doing it. And then really honestly, I started running. I never ran. I started running. It was more like a run walk.
She's doing quote marks with her hands, by the way.
14-minute mile kind of situation.
I remember when I told you you had to start running. You're like, what? No.
I'm not doing that.
Gotta run.
But I did. And I did start running, and it wasn't fast. And that was a journey all on its own. But yeah, I would sit and watch UFC, and I still didn't even know about the actual Muay Thai culture at that point. I was still like, what was kind of in your face was UFC, right? And Ronda. And but I remember being like, okay, well, you realize that, or you don't realize that if you want to fight, it's going to take a sacrifice of everything that you have as relationships and diet and time. And I just remember like, I can do that. Whatever.
Yeah. And if people that don't know you, you were doing travel nursing at the time, correct?
Yeah, working in the ER. Yep.
So you're used to like having these short intervals of making friends and leaving, or just going in and being kind of like a ghost.
Yeah, pop-up video. I like to say, hey, here I am. I'm
here. Pop-up video.
I'm here to
Bye.
entertain you for a minute, and then I gotta go.
Yeah. I remember when you started training, I was like, hey, yeah, you can do it, but take your time. There's no rush. There's a lot of, like you were saying, a lot of sacrifice that was involved with it. And I didn't doubt you. I hope you know that.
No, but I think that you knew that you couldn't give me false hope.
No.
I literally had 30 days of Muay Thai experience, and I was like, put me in, coach. And you're like, no, lady.
Give it time.
Real. Yeah, you kept it real.
I remember all of a sudden you were like, oh, I'm going to train jiu-jitsu. I'm going to do MMA training with this guy, and I'm going to do weights 10 times a day. And I was like, hey, focus on one thing, maybe some strength and doing the running. Yeah,
and I did. I did. I think I took jiu-jitsu at Paragon for a month, and then I was like, especially when you're not physically there yet, to try to do all that stuff at once was just like, okay, maybe he's right. Let me just try to kick the bag or do a jab cross appropriately. And then we can add in as we go.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you were training with us, and then I knew that you had a time where you're going to have to leave. You extended your nursing contract here in Ventura, correct? For a bit?
Yeah. I ended up being there, I think, almost 9 months.
9 months. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, cool, now let's start looking for fights. And it was like, oh, you're leaving.
Yeah, and then I got that crazy opportunity to be a volunteer nurse in Chiang Mai, Thailand.
Yeah, I remember you told me that, and I was excited for you. And you're like, I'm like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
you can always come back. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it was definitely I'd never been abroad. It was and it was so random as well. So it was really, you just got to follow your path. So, I accepted that little nursing gig, and I think I left in April, and I was in Chiang Mai in July. So,
hey, real quick. So something I think a lot of people might not know is, how old were you when you started Muay Thai?
Oh, 29 when I started training.
29. Okay. So you're in July, peak rainy season in Thailand, for those that don't know.
Yeah.
In Chiang Mai, but it's not terribly hot there in Chiang Mai compared to like Bangkok or Phuket.
Yeah.
But
It was nice weather.
yeah. So when you went up there and you're doing your travel nursing, you were doing like Airbnbs, staying up there. Or...
Actually, initially, the company that I was volunteering for, they provided us. It was essentially like a room full of bunk beds.
Yeah.
So that's where I lived.
Yeah. That was interesting seeing your Instagram feed and stuff. Then, like when you were showing the quote unquote ambulances, which were just like the pickup truck,
Vans
with a dead body in the back.
With dead bodies full in. Yeah.
Oh my god!
It was definitely such an interesting experience, not only culturally in general day to day, but working in the medical field there was definitely added to how I practice now.
Yeah.
Like, people don't even realize how lucky we are.
Oh yeah, I bet like it made you appreciate too everything that you have here when you're here, or like in a more developed country.
Oh yeah, when you're standing in the backyard taking a bucket shower, you definitely remember the fond moments when you had a warm shower.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that. And I remember you sent me a picture because like part of our warm ups was squats. I used to give you shit about not squatting down far enough.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember sending this to me, don't you?
No, what did I send?
I used to always joke about you guys, you know, hey, maybe one day you find yourself in the countryside of Thailand and you're going to have to use a squat toilet. And you need to know how to squat. And I remember one of the first pictures you sent me, you said, like, guess what? And there's a picture of a squat toilet.
Right. Didn't fall over.
No? Did your squats? Yep. That's right.
Yeah, gotta do your Thai squats. That way you can use the bathroom when you're
in Thailand.
Thailand.
Yeah, especially if your legs are dead from road work and all that other stuff.
They need to have bars to hold on to.
Yeah, but they don't. They don't.
Because Thai people grow up squatting.
Yeah, they have balance.
Not only for the bathroom, but like that's just their position of comfort a lot of times. Yeah. Us white people in our hips, too tight.
No, can't open up the hips.
Nope.
So how long, like, I wouldn't say how long first, but you were in Thailand, and did you train at a couple different places before you found the gym you were trained at?
Yeah, I tried, like, I just kind of went around. I did Hong Kong, which those guys are awesome. I tried Quest out, because where I was living was about maybe a 25, 30-minute drive. So I had to go, like, really plan it out. So, and then I ended up meeting Pinum, my coach, and he was training out of a strength training, like muscle gym.
Yeah, muscle building, like bodybuilding, physique gym.
Bodybuilding, yeah. But they had treadmills and they had mats and they had one heavy bag, and he was super experienced, and I, like from the minute I met him, I was like, oh yeah, I can work with this person. So I think I was there. My first fight was in September, I think. So only about 6 weeks.
Yeah. So you went out there. I remember you fought and you won that one, right?
Yeah, my first fight. Yeah.
What stadium was that at?
It was at Loy Krah.
Loy Krah.
Loy Krah. It's this tiny ring in the middle of like 10 ladyboy bars. And in the middle of Loy Krah, like right by Night Bazaar, so it was just like all tourism, and it was wild. I still like giggle about those times. It's like, there's no place to change. The toilets weren't even squat toilets; they were just like toilet bowls with no back and no seat. So like trying to go in there and like put your fight gear on or what, everything's like wet. It's like an inch of water on the ground.
It's not water, Carody. Come on.
Come, let me live in the water thing. Yeah, I mean, it was just in Thailand, a lot of times when you fight, until you get to a higher level, that's where you're fighting. And then they would let every tourist walk in the ring, like, with their shoes on and with their beer, like, before, and take selfies. And you're just like, yeah, I'm not going there and fight and beer and
I want to have beer right now.
yeah, like, I'm covered in beer. And like, oh, are you drunk? Oh, just fighting in a bar. But yeah, I love that experience. I loved it. I think I fought 6 fights there.
Or that stadium.
Yeah.
And then I came and visited you, but you came back. Did I visit you before you came back on that trip?
Yeah, I think you came in maybe December. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I came in December.
It was your birthday.
Yeah, for my birthday, I came up there to Chiang Mai. It was
and we went. We trained at Sasi Prapa together.
Yes, we went to Sasi Prapa gym. We trained straight off the airplane and just.
That was so fun. I love that week.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, the training here in Bangkok is way different than Chiang Mai.
Yeah, especially too because I was like in a 1-to-1 scenario.
Mm.
And this is like one of the first times I trained in Thailand with like a group. Yeah. Or like a class.
Yeah. And there's like a big group of and they're all fighters essentially for the most part. Yeah. So I remember you were super stoked to be able to train and like clinch with one of the kids.
Yeah. Oh, of course. We did. I think we went to Kitchikorn as well that week.
Yeah, we went to Kitchikorn that week. And that's when you got your Mongkong from JK.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
You still have it, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Better.
It's my Mongkong.
Yeah. So, I remember he gifted it to you. He's like, oh, you're fighting here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I had that big fight that one night in Chiang Mai. Mm-hmm. We had all the...
televised one, right?
Yeah, and all the homies from Houston Muay Thai.
Yeah, it was like Becca Irwin and...
I think Corley actually fought in that.
Yeah, he dropped a guy with a body shot, right? I think.
Yeah, he was a knockout. Yeah.
that was that looked painful.
Yeah, I think he went like 3 or 4 rounds on. I just remember him being like, I was just waiting for it. You're like, come on, and he
yeah, that was cool. And I think was it Patrick Rivera was there with a couple of his kids, right?
He was, yeah. I forgot that. I think one.
Yeah.
And then Jacob Rodriguez was there, and I think that was it for that one.
Mm-hmm. So for those that don't know, a lot of those people are like fighting pro and glory now.
Yeah, right?
And that was like their first like quote unquote pro fights or whatever it may be.
Yeah, big fights. They're big fights in Thailand.
Yeah.
They've all come, I think, Becca came back and fought in that same promotion.
Yeah, she fought up there, and then she was fighting at IFMA and stuff out there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I remember going out there and meeting your trainer in Chiang Mai, Pinum. And I met the guy, and I was like, "Oh, now I get why you train with this guy. Yeah. He loves giving you shit like me."
Oh man, that was the first. I mean, I think all my coaches, honestly, have always been kind of hard on me.
Well, you want to fight, that's like, you're treated like everybody else that wants to fight.
I've had many Thai trainers smack me with stick or whatever, like, you're too crazy, stop dancing, no dance, stuff like that. But Pinum was definitely my intro to
the craziness of Thai trainers.
To the Thai trainer life, yeah.
Getting talked down to like a kid, even though you're older than them.
Older than him, and I'm like a professional. Nope, no, you're not.
Nope. This is here. You are below me.
Yeah, amen. And I was.
Yeah. Of course. And so you went there, and then you ended up coming back to Ventura after your trip after that current work contract ended, correct? Yeah,
I did, because you were like, why don't you come back and fight for this WBC title?
Yeah, you asked me, like, hey, this WBC Muay Thai tournament, can I do it? I was like, yeah, come back and train, let's do it.
Yeah, and my homegirl Justine, she had been fighting a lot, and I was like, I want to come back and
The champ.
be with the team, and now
What
that I'd
was
have to fight.
you had a sub team name too. It was like a subsect of Muay Thai. What was it called?
Team Vag.
Team Vag. Who came up with that?
I think I came up with it, but I'm sure we all just. I think we all did. It was Kate Sholey and Justine and I and any lady that came into Muay Thai was part of Team Vag.
Yeah, you're initiated into Team Vag. I remember some girls like, no, I don't want to be a part of Team Vag.
I don't want to be in your weird Team Vag, but we had a good time.
Yeah, I had to mention that because that's part of history.
It is.
Okay,
yeah.
So, you ended up coming back. I remember we trained. You started helping out with coaching with the kids with Kate.
Yeah.
You look excited.
That was hard.
Yeah. So, like, what makes that hard? Like, because just to give everybody a frame of reference too, is kids from ages 4 to like 12.
Yeah. So it wasn't necessarily the kids that were hard. Our kids are awesome. They were super fun, and but I think the fact I was working 12-hour night shifts, and I was training for that fight, and I'm naturally hard on myself, but I was even harder on myself because this was going to be the first time that I fought in the U.S., the first time I fought like for you. So I think just I was exhausted, and anytime you're training for a fight and trying to also have other responsibilities, things become less fun. You're like, I'm tired, I'm hungry. But the kids were awesome, and I loved it. And then, Coach Dottie did okay.
Coach Dottie did a good job at laying dots. And for those that aren't in Carody is Coach Dottie. She would just come in and be like, I'm going to keep the lines together for the kids, and I'm going to lay the dots when you need them.
I'm going to lay the dots down and keep a little bit of order. The rest is up to you guys. That was a good time.
Yeah, that was awesome having you guys there. Man, in retrospect, I underutilized in so many aspects and it's wasn't on purpose. It's leadership skills that I learned. I'm like, fuck, I wish I knew that when you guys were there, because I could have given you guys so much more experience and growth in that aspect too.
Yeah. Well, that was your journey too, because, owning a business and owning your own gym, like, we're learning, you're learning, like,
yeah.
And
it's hard.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I've seen you do it, buddy.
You saw the gray hairs appear over time, literally.
I've seen them. Yeah. I've seen you work your ass off for this, so.
Oh, I gotta give a little pat on the back.
That jokes out.
Thanks, Gary. Yeah. Well, I'm proud of all of the students and stuff like that have been a part of it through this crazy journey too. I'm always grateful for it. It's like I do daily gratitude practice, and it's hard not to say every day, I'm grateful for my Muay Thai students. Like, it's like, yeah, duh. It's like, I'm grateful for being alive, of course. Like, it's come in line with that. It's one of those like things that you have every day. So,
but it comes from your heart. So that's right. Your intention is,
passion, for sure. So you guys, you trained. We had Christian and Kate. We're training for a WBC tournament. We all went up there to Seattle, Washington. That was a good time. You guys stayed at the Roadway Inn. Turn tricks to pay for the flight. I'm kidding. No, they weren't doing that. But we didn't. But we could have. You could have.
Yeah, we could have.
The room next door had a pimp or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It did, certainly. But it was right next to the venue. It was perfect.
So it was at the Tacoma Soccer Stadium with Ajahn Sarab. For those that don't know, he's like a big promoter in Pacific Northwest Muay Thai, and he's helped keep fights active. That setup is so strange. It's just giant indoor soccer stadium. It's got a Muay Thai gym upstairs and a bar/restaurant. The weirdest setup, but really good for fight events.
Yeah,
Like
it was perfect.
lot of space. It's not super fancy, but you can fit a lot of people. There, like the warm up area was pretty sick. Remember those?
Yeah, with the little like dugouts. I don't think they're called dugouts, but yeah.
Like yeah, they were like the bullpen areas, but it was like I felt like Thailand because they were just like concrete floors, nothing fancy, crappy fluorescent lights, a cage around it.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, good way to get that experience. So, I remember that time. So, Kate won her first fight, and then she had to fight against Kate from Philadelphia. It's Kate versus Kate in the finals. She dropped the finals, won, but made it to the finals. Then Christian fought 3 times.
Yeah, so he won 2 and then went to finals?
Won 2, went to finals, lost finals. Fought like, I think, 3 times in like an hour and a half.
Yeah, he's such a beast.
Yeah, that shit was awesome. Proud of that dude for that. Also, and then you had the bye to the finals, and you were like, oh, fuck.
I think I was supposed to have the bye, and then the actual one girl dropped out before weigh-in. So then there's just me and one other young lady.
That was from Tony's gym.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I remember, like, us... I had Crew Mark from the Guild Muay Thai that was up there helping out.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was hard. Because, like, you guys were all back-to-back.
Yeah.
And so it was, like, in between rounds for you, I would, like, yell across, like... Kate, stay warm. Christian, start warming up.
Yeah.
Like, and people are like, what the fuck is it? I'm literally coaching like 3 people.
Yeah. And Justine helped out a lot too.
You guys, that was like epitome of teamwork right there to make that happen.
Really good.
Yeah, that was
That's good
when stuff started
experience for you. The coach too, because it's like now you know because all 3 of us are gonna make it to the finals, like time management and.
That was fun. That was a good experience. So you ended up taking the belt home at the end of the finals.
Yep.
So
my favorite belt.
It is. It's a very nice belt.
It is.
So it's funny. It looked. It's funny seeing those things like come to fruition over time. I hope they make a comeback with the amateur belts here. I know there's a big. They were supposed to have a big convention and stuff like that before the Rona came into play. So. You won the belt. You stayed around a bit longer, right? After?
Because I decided to do TBA.
Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I stayed for the rest of the summer.
Get
ready for that.
In Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. My entire family.
Your entire family is in Kansas City, and they were like, hey, you don't need a hotel.
Yeah, I think we ended up having like 21 of my family members at the venue.
That was awesome. You definitely had like a cheering squad.
I did, so that was great that I lost.
Hey, you fought against somebody from the academy who was trained by Caitlin Young. So it's not like you fought against some nobody that didn't have experience. That girl had quite a bit of experience too.
Yeah.
So. And
really, like, I talk about that loss because it's literally the only time I've lost in the U.S., so I just, perfectionist. But the experience, like you and Nicholas Michael was there, and Justine, and all that, staying at my aunt's house, and that was just such a fun time.
Yeah.
A fun time.
Yeah, that was. Kansas City is definitely a interesting Kansas.
It's Kansas.
So your family's awesome too, by the way. Your Aunt Kimmy, she cracks me up. Tell her said hi.
I will. I still can't look at her bathtub without I can't even look at her. I can't even look at her bathtub.
You gotta explain that one for those that out there. Otherwise, it sounds really bad.
So yeah, just I had a gnarly weight cut. That was it. You can't. I mean, nobody wants to hear the details, but it was just a really uncomfortable weight cut, and and then it was like one of those days that it rained, so you're just like so thirsty.
And it's raining.
I'm gonna stand out there with my mouth open. But all worth it. All experience gained and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, came back to Ventura, and then you moved to LA, correct?
I did. I moved to East
Los Angeles. And I remember I was like, hey, you should train at my friend's gym. You're like, oh, I think that's far. I'm not going to go. And you explored a couple other places, and you're like, oh, shit, it's actually not that far.
It was not that far, and it was so worth it.
Yeah, you started training with my friend David Huerta at Los Angeles Muay Thai. He just opened up that year.
Yeah.
Ended up being perfect match.
Yeah, it was great. I loved being there. That is also such another one of my Muay Thai homes. And it was a good time.
Yeah, you created another team there with Kennedy Mays, correct?
Yeah, Kennedy and Lance Dixon. And everybody there was, monsters. Everybody was hungry and fighting regularly, and it was just such a good environment to be in. That's when they started doing that Tuesday sparring, Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah, so all the semi-pro, pro come out, and we just really just beat each other savagely.
That's what, when David was teaching at another gym, we used to do it on Fridays at like 10 a.m. And me and Coach Todd and my friend Travis, who lives out in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we used to go down there. And it's funny, a picture showed up on like my Facebook timeline. Yes, people still use Facebook, people. It showed up on the timeline, and it was like a picture Todd took of us in the car, like my shitty car with cracked engine block that would go puttering down Highway 1 on. But we would go down there, and that's when Lance was like Muay Thai baby still.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he would do that. It was like a bunch of fighters would just come in. My friend Moses, who's out there, we would go beat the shit out of each other. Me, him, and David, and everybody would just watch us like fuck each other up for like 15 rounds, essentially 20 rounds sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, we would go for hours. And we just, when you're running that hot with a group of people like on your level or pushing you to a new level, like you don't even, time just passes.
Also, it's like, it's been 3 hours.
Yeah, and we would get started late because everybody had jobs and stuff. So we get there
9 p.m.
9 p.m. Leave like 11:30 at night. We're like just toast.
Yeah, when I first met David, that's what we used to do at Knockweed's gym. He would come in. He had a trainer, Montry, that was training him at the time, along with Jorge Zarate. And you'd come in, we would train, clinch. All of a sudden, it was like 11:30 at night. We'd start training at like 8. I just remember like, oh, we're so hungry. But luckily, Thai food's open late in the valley.
Right? Yeah. We had like a burrito truck outside of Los Angeles Muay Thai.
Oh, they show up at Tuesday. Oh, it's Tuesday. Bunch of hungry fighters.
Yeah. Bunch of hungry fighters are going to walk right past that burrito truck because none of us can get anything.
And of course, there's a couple of them cutting weight, and they're just going home.
Yeah, those are good times, man. I also trained a little, and with a couple other places while I was there. Just like LA is very jump in and out. Like everyone kind of welcomes you, gym to gym, and it was a great time.
Yeah. So you trained with David. You did the U.S. Muay Thai Open. Was it the B class or A class title you won?
A class.
You won the U.S. Muay Thai Open A class. That's 2018? 2017?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, I
think it was 2018.
Yeah.
So you won the U.S. Muay Thai Open A class. What weight class was that at?
I fought 132 to 138, I think.
Okay.
Or 132 to 140.
140,
Or something like that. The range.
for those that are out there that are listening, it's like, well, she fought in Thailand. Isn't she pro? So you gotta know there's levels, and most of the A-class fighters here in the U.S. usually fight in Thailand, the low-level Muay Thai scene out there too. They just don't post about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So after that, you moved back to Thailand.
I did. I said I was going to go for 2 months and take a couple fights and go to the beach. And then I was going to try to move to Costa Rica. That was my plan.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, go Carody.
Yeah.
So you moved over there, and did you go straight to Phuket, or did you go around a little bit?
I did. I flew right into Phuket, and I had like a week booked at Sitsong Pino.
Which is now Revolution Gym, right?
Yeah.
So you went there and you were training a little bit. I remember you got a pretty brutal staph infection or something like that, right?
I did. I had a couple fights before that.
Okay.
I was like, I think I fought within like 6 days of being there because I was ready.
Which stadium was like Patong or what?
Yeah, Siam Yen, Patong Stadium. And I fought that first fight, and then immediately, like 2 weeks later, I had a second fight. But in that 2 weeks leading up to it, I got scratched by Velcro, and then just
and it was
molted
during rainy season, correct?
During rainy season, the end of rainy season, when it meets like the summer, and so it's 110 and raining and.
Prime time for bacteria, viruses, and all that stuff.
Yeah, for my inauguration into full-time fighting in Thailand, I feel like most people have had that experience.
Yeah. So you're out there for a bit, and I remember talking to you like really late at night. I think we like FaceTimed or something like that. And I remember you're having a hard time. You had some sponsorship opportunity come up. But they wanted you to cut like a ridiculous amount of weight.
Yeah, well, they wanted me to fight in the King's Cup, which is like all I wanted to do.
Hell yeah.
Such a cup, yeah.
Wait, can you explain what the King's Cup is for those that don't know?
So it's the King's celebration of the King's birthday.
King of Thailand.
Yeah, the King of Thailand. And it's huge, I think like a week-long celebration, but they have these fights on the weekend, but they're like world title, very coveted, like if you get in there, you did it kind of thing. And people come from all over, so it's not only people in Thailand fighting, but like there's been some ISMA girls that have fought, and so it's just such an awesome step forward. But the fight that they wanted to give me, I had 2.5 weeks just running. I couldn't train because I was infectious. And they wanted me to fight for that title at like 128. And if you know me, y'all, no, I'm not no 128. I think I was walking around 140, 142.
That's a lot of weight.
And then I think it was like 2 weeks out. It's like part of you as a fighter, wants to be like, I can do it. I'll make anything happen. Like, I want to do it. But like, also I am at this point 32 and I'm aware of the risk, and me trying to cut 14 pounds in 2 weeks is not even going to set me up for success at the fight, but could really be damaging to my body. So it's like, you just have to be smart.
Yeah. I remember it's just like, don't do it. It's not worth it. Something better will come along.
Yeah. And it did.
Yeah. So what happened? what ended up coming along?
After I let go of the King's Cup and I'd been sick, I was just obviously in a funk. I was in a mood. I was ready to get my ticket.
The toilet and stuff.
The size of a dinner plate. Machete was his name. So Yeah, so actually right before I got real sick with my staph infection, I fought one of the top female fighters in Phuket. I did not win, obviously, but we had a really good fight. And she was one of the lead coaches at a gym called Muay Thai. And her and the other head coach reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in fighting for their team on a year-long contract. Well, they didn't ask me the contract. They asked me if I wanted to come try out, essentially. And I was like, yeah.
And that was just coming off like your staph infection and everything, right?
Yeah, I was just kind of growing skin back, yeah.
So you were probably weren't feeling the best at the time. And what wasn't the reason why they offered it to you because of how relaxed you were in the ring?
Yeah, they did. They said that they appreciated my composure is a good word. But little did they know I was just sick.
Hey, like I said, better things come along sometimes.
Yeah, the universe is like, I'm going to slow you down a little bit for this fight because it's going to get you.
Yeah, I got you, fam. You'll get that sponsorship.
Yeah, no, I was just dying because I was slow.
So you ended up getting that sponsorship 1 year at Muay Thai.
I did, yep. And I think I got that sponsorship, and then I think I had 3 days notice, and I was in the ring at I think of the other stadiums.
Bangla.
But thank you.
Bangla Stadium.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Bangla Stadium's like in the heart, is in Patong, right? Patong Beach?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the heart of the tourist area, but you have to pay to get in. It's not like the other fights in Chiang Mai where they're letting people walk in with beer and stuff like that. You have to buy the beer at the stadium.
Yeah. Huge stadium.
Gambling, all that stuff.
Yeah, huge gambling, big. It's on top of that terrifying tiger bar, all the fake tigers that hang out of it. It's a crazy place. So I think I went to go get a visa. I got back from my visa run in Vietnam. They're like, oh, you fight, Thursday. I think it was Monday. And I was like, okay. That's what you got to do in Thailand.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to fight.
Okay, yeah. It's not a big deal.
Well, so you were there, and your trainer, who was the woman you fought prior, ended up becoming your trainer.
Yes.
Okay, what's her name again?
Noon.
So how would I find her on how would I look at Noon and Noom? So how would I find her if I looked her up? Is like a Bokyao Muay Thai, right?
Yeah, her fight name is Bokyao, which is not. It's spelled a little different, but yeah, she's a Bokyao Muay Thai, and she is an amazing fighter. I've never in my life, I've seen her fight a bunch of times, and I've never seen her not smiling, not laughing at her opponent, not just genuinely having a good time.
Yeah. And, I remember seeing her fight there, and she fought against this giant Swedish woman.
Oh, were you there? Oh, when the night that I cornered her?
Yeah. That shit was crazy. And she was just smiling.
It's the one time I saw her not smile.
Well, she smiled, and was it her that's like, I'm done?
She literally, but she's so seasoned, and she's been a coach. It was like third round. She's like, yeah, this is not, we're not going any further.
No, because she was taking some pretty substantial damage. And I think the other girl was, 75 or 76 kilos or some crazy shit?
Yeah, and tall. I mean, just so tall.
And Bokia was 59 kilos?
I think she's, if not less.
That is, if you guys don't know, that's an over 30-pound weight difference. So.
Yeah, and it actually happens quite a bit. I mean, in Thailand, at that level, we don't weigh in and just eyeball.
Yeah, it's just you have the experience, and you're smaller, the other person's bigger, so.
And you consent, and that's really all they want, is that you just say, okay. She got cut under her eye and above her eye, same eye. And, Yeah, that was rough. That was a rough fight. But
Man,
it
was. And not to downplay it. I was hoping she won. I threw some money down on her too, because she was the big underdog. And so like the gambler was like, okay, yeah, we'll take it. And I was trying to like first round. I was like, okay, like I'm gonna wait. And then I saw her kind of losing a little bit. I'm like, cool, I'll put some money down next round. And then she got fucking cut. And that's when we had the students over there with us. And
oh yeah,
for those who don't know gambling over there, it goes round by round. You could change, and the odds change every round during the round sometimes.
Gambling at Bengal is always it's really good gambling there, honestly. And for the fighters, it's really good. Like even the fight that I had that I lost, that I got TKO'd, they gave me extra money because they're like, oh, we won so much money on you losing.
So it gave you money.
Yeah, and they gave me I think I got $1,000 extra for that fight. I don't know if I got it because they won in gambling or because I just was so busted. They felt bad, but
you're like, you earned this.
Yeah, she lost quite a bit of blood. Let's hope her.
And brain cells. Was that the one where you got really bad concussion?
Yeah, I fought the national title champion of Belarus. I think she probably was about 12 pounds heavier than I was.
Yeah, it looked much bigger. I remember thinking, like, what the fuck is Carody doing in there with this beast, this giant woman?
Maybe you are like, what did you do that for? I remember my coach, one of the coaches that day was, when we went to the stadium, was like, you don't really have to do this. Like, you don't have to fight her. And I was like, man, you never know what you're going to pull off. Maybe I was going to do something crazy, and that didn't happen, but it was worth it.
The universe was like, slow your little bitch.
Yeah, but you're not there. You're not there yet.
Give it another year. So, it was awesome visiting you out there and seeing Bukal and seeing how she treated you. Treated you much like Noom.
Yeah. Yeah, they were I'm their favorite person there. When you're at the gym, when you're with them all day, every day, you become family. But you also kind of become like the gym pet. Like they were just like chase me around, like make fun of me, and but that's very much Thai culture there. They'll do anything for you. They love you. They'll be there for you. But like they're gonna be honest with you, and they're not like no
ifs, ands, or buts. It's like I remember because you were smoking then.
Sikiao SMS, as they call me.
What they call it?
Sikiao SMS is like a brand of cigarette in Thailand. They go, Carody, this is SMS Sikiao, Carody Muay Thai, like all the time. I'm like, oh, like one time.
Yeah. I just remember like Bukal was showing up with her girlfriend, and like from like a good 100 meters away, she's like, Carody, those cigarettes? And they're just sitting on the table. I'm like, eyes like a hawk.
Oh my God, remember she made me do 20 push-ups. I was wearing a dress.
Right then.
The whole thing.
Yeah. But no, like I said, no bullshit. And then when they busted you smoking again, I remember you being like, no, don't make me do this. Like you legitimately, I feared for your life at that point because how scared you were. It was like a traumatized person with Stockholm syndrome. It's like, I love them, but they keep hurting me.
I know. But she was like, if I ever see this again, you will not fight for us. So that was a wrap. That was a wrap.
Yeah, you're right.
It was a good time.
Yeah. But it that's because they cared about you.
Yeah. I think too that Noonie, as I call her, Bukal, and then they taught me a lot of lessons just as far as friendship went, because when I first started fighting for her, I would try to give her money from my purse, from my winning, and she would be like, no, I don't want it. And I wanted to give her stuff, so I'd go and buy her favorite thing at 7-Eleven or Family Mart, whatever, and she'd be like, I don't want this. I'm not going to take it. And because I think very much in American culture, gifts are things that we show how we appreciate people. But that's just not what it is in Thai culture. She just wanted to hang out. She's like, if you want to be my friend or if we're close, then we just spend time together. So you buy food for each other and eat together. And so that was such a good lesson for me.
Yeah.
Oh, Noonie.
Yeah. They're awesome people over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess, when you were over there, you spent like a year. I remember you almost didn't finish your contract over there. Did you end up finishing the whole year, or?
I was 1 month shy because I tore my hamstring.
Yeah. Oof, that was. I remember you like waddling around. I'm like, I can't like send her shoes or something like that.
I know. The worst thing was like I tore my hamstring and then I just kept fighting. That was also a great lesson too.
And then the trainers would kick you in the hamstring repeatedly.
Or sleep me, or because you let people know your weaknesses. They're certainly going to find them.
Yeah.
But I wanted the last couple of fights, and my performance was definitely affected. But I've always been like mentally like, I'm fine, I'm gonna do it, I'm a win, check me out, and then not so.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes yes, sometimes no.
So, but looking back on that, let's talk about the mindset of that a little bit. So you lose, you win, you do all this stuff. Do you feel that obviously for you, because you're experiencing this stuff, like you experience the wins, you experience the losses, you experience the hardship of being like a sponsored pro fighter in Thailand. Do you feel that people? Well, obviously, people place that on a pedestal. Like, oh, you're a pro fighter. What the joke was, you're living the dream, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like, this is the dream, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Getting spit on by the Russians who are visiting the gym and being yelled at and treated like crap. Treated, like you said, like the animal at the gym.
Yeah.
But then also making some awesome friendships and stuff like that, too. Do you feel that, like, the wins that you had over there, made the losses and that stuff worth it?
Yeah, I think overall it was worth it. I mean, I learned so much about myself and so much more about Muay Thai. I've only been training, I guess, since it's 5 years this August. I would 100% say it was worth it. The wins don't even, especially in Thailand, they don't really care if you win as long as you fight good, So it was never really focused on win or lose. I definitely wish I would have. We can only go as far as we can go in where we're at. I wish I could have done more. I think most of us as fighters and athletes, you always think like, oh, I wish I would have taken one more fight or trained this way or done this thing. So it's more just accepting the experience for what it was and learning from it and being grateful that I even got to experience that. A lot of people, I would love to do what I was able to do. So.
Yeah, I know you tried to get a couple people over there, they're pro fighters here, and they just came up with one excuse. And I'm like, that person really needs to be over there. Like these people, and
it's scary. It's scary,
but not really. Well, I guess.
Well, that's just because we know it's not scary.
Yeah. But I mean, you're there. Like, come on. This is your in.
Yeah.
Fucking take it. So.
We did, but I just logistics for people as well, and it's not fun to live off $150 a month.
No.
Take it from me.
Yeah, you're living off Muping.
And it's not living in Thailand, going to the beach and going to vacations and taking boat rides, and it's sleeping in a container or next to Machete the spider.
That's why when I was there, I'm like, you're going on a boat trip with us. You're going to the islands. You need to relax for a day.
Oh, nice to me. Remember how spoiled I felt?
Yeah, I can have a Coke at dinner.
I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna sit in the sun. Like, what a blast! Thank you again.
Yeah, it's like, Carody, it's $2. It's okay.
Yeah, you're like, really, it's $1.50. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, I'm so happy. No, but
remember you brought me Christmas presents from my mom too, which was very nice, and I was so excited.
I remember I looked through your stuff. I'm like, I want to make sure there's no drugs hidden in here. Get busted at the border.
Smart. My mom would not necessarily do that, but smart. I would.
Who knows? Maybe it wasn't your mom that sent it. Who knows?
Right?
I don't know.
I'm like trying to get all those Christmas presents on the back of in my backpack on the back of my motorbike. I was like, oh God! I was like, I'm gonna fall over.
Oh man! So, you ended up, coming back here to the U.S. Now you're based in San Francisco, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Bay Area, and you're training with another Noom.
I am.
For those that don't know,
I have a thing for Noom.
Yeah, Jung Sanan.
Yeah, Jung Sanan, and I miss him very much. I miss everyone at the gym. It is such a great environment. Everyone's working really hard. Yeah.
You had like another woman fighter that's up there, Malia, she's managing the place, right?
Yeah, she's part owner.
Partner, cool. And then of course Jung Sanan, run classes. You have a couple pro fighters. Ethan, what's Ethan's last name?
Yeah, Quay Chan.
Ethan, we had sent me his Instagram. I want to tag him. Everybody's in here. I put it in the show notes and stuff like that, so people can go check these people out.
Yeah, John, whatever. Yeah. He's gonna write me hard on that too.
Yeah. Ethan, you're welcome on here too, man. You can talk shit about Carody. It'll be your time.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. And we have Ty again, who's moving up fast. If we could just get fights going, she's supposed to have like 4 fights already this year, but obviously we're not doing that.
Yeah, we know. The Rona had different plans for us.
Yeah.
Coronavirus. So you're up there. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. What are you doing for work right now?
Right now I'm working on a trauma helicopter as a nurse.
So, okay.
And
trauma rescue helicopter as a nurse.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
Definitely the next big adventure.
Fuck, yeah. Well,
I thought Thailand was going to be crazy, but now I'm flying through the air.
To airlift people out, right?
Yeah, we just pick up. I mean, we have so many rural areas and bike trails and stuff out here, so it's mostly picking up people that fall off cliffs or crash their cars.
Shit. Well, so on like a trauma, let's talk about this. So like on a trauma helicopter, it's a nurse, a doctor, like who?
A nurse, a paramedic, and a pilot.
And a pilot. Is the pilot trained in like any emergency services stuff too? They no. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they gotta focus on that one very important task.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure, like, in case, like, they needed to have those skills, too. I was talking with Carolina about it, and I was like, I'm going to ask her, because that's, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of them, we joke a lot that they could probably do as good of a job or better than we do, just because we have really experienced medevac pilots that work for us, so they're like, they probably could do it just as well as I do.
Yeah. So that job is like, it looks pretty fucking awesome. Like, if you're gonna have a place to work, being up in the sky in a helicopter looks like a pretty fucking sweet place to do it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's incredibly stressful. Now the patient care is hard because you are like crammed in there and they're very sick. But just even the logistics of working on a helicopter, and we're just as responsible for the safety of the aircraft as everyone else, the pilots and the mechanics. So, it took me quite a while to get accustomed to it, but now when the engine starts up and I got a little jet fuel in my face, I'm like invigorated.
I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just huffing aircraft fuel. But it's awesome. I'm really happy to have this kind of new job because the ER was done for me.
Well, I have to say that you're a pretty fucking badass person. to be doing that kind of shit. Like, even just outside of Muay Thai stuff, like, you're badass in that aspect too. We love you, but that's not why we love you. But doing this kind of like nursing stuff, airlifting people out, fucking carrying dead bodies in Thailand onto trucks and doing all that stuff like voluntarily
right?
Takes a special person for sure.
Special is a nice word to use. Thank you.
Well, and I mean, I use the term old, but I guess you could say quote unquote experienced.
Yeah, wise.
Wise.
No, I don't know about that, but
yeah.
Yeah, and I really like that job, and it's only 2 days a week. So that's if I could train right now, I would. Would be perfect.
Is it going to pick up in like your hours going to pick up and stuff like that too, or is it going to stay at that 2 days a week?
2 days a week is full time.
Wow.
But I was working at Wooden Man at the front desk.
Well, how much?
With the aircraft and Wooden Man together, it's about 78 hours a week. So about 30 hours at Wooden Man, 25. Yeah. I like it though, because then I'm where I want to be. I'm at the gym, but I'm also making income because Bay Area is hella expensive.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. Do you need that kind of rescue helicopter income for sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I know that I've asked you this, and you've been working on having your body recover from your hamstring and everything like that too. So, and we talked about it. Fighter always like, hey, I want to have one more fight, but like, where are you at? Do you see yourself competing again? Are you just taking it kind of day by day? Like, if the opportunity comes up, you'll do it, or what's your plans?
My plans. I definitely am still getting stronger. I actually am at a point where I'm pretty much at no pain. I still have a spasm from time to time if I try to run too fast, but I'm pretty much healed. I'm gonna fight again. Johnson and I actually had talked a little bit about. He has like an opponent in mind from Southern California. So we chatted a little bit about it. We probably would have been at 140.
Okay, I think I know who that is.
Yeah. So I think had we not had been stopped by the pandemic, the talks and actions probably would have gone a little bit further. But I really am just trying to take care of myself right now. It's so hard. It's such a hard question because in your heart, you don't, yes. I don't ever want to stop.
No, I feel
you. Also do, you do need to recognize when I'm getting older. Do I really need to take 4 weeks of hard sparring and then have a fight and, come out with a brain injury or something like that? So it's almost like you start growing a little bit. But nothing takes the place of that feeling of being in the ring. And I think we'll probably all former and current fighters be chasing that probably for the rest of our lives.
And I'm going to tell you, I support you either way.
Thank you.
So I asked that question, and I had to like really pre-frame that because I get asked that all the time, and it's been I feel you 100%.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right now, I'm just trying to be healthy and clean and keep my mind right in this wild time.
Well, speaking of that too. Just so you know, in September, there's a 12-hour run. It's an ultra marathon. You run as much as you can in 12 hours. I'm doing it. Me and my wife are doing it. It's going to be our first ultra marathon. So
wait, is it a set track? Or do you just run
a set track. It's like a 2.5 mile loop. And you just run it for 12 hours.
Cool.
So my goal is at least 30 miles. But what we're doing is... we're actually, because you remember Carl, the Canine Animal Rescue Service, Adoption and Rescue League?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where you go around the dogs and stuff like that for the fosters.
Yeah.
They're hurting pretty bad right now with this economic downturn with coronavirus and whatnot. So we're doing some fundraising stuff for them currently. They have like a small 5K virtual run, but we're looking at finding some other nonprofits, including like stuff like Carl, to build up and do like a massive fundraiser and take what we're calling is fighters running with a cause. And the cause, taking that fight mindset, like that you said, that feeling you're chasing of like pushing yourself and achieving something and like having your hand raised, taking that same mindset and putting it towards like a cause that you can do. It's like, I know I can go run. My feet are probably gonna fucking fall apart, but it's for a good cause. You know, that's been like the big thing is give back. So that's what's on my horizon. I'm shooting for that, and I know if I do that, I'll be in fighting shape. So
I'll jump in. I'll hang out.
If you want to come down and run some laps or participate in it, it's in September, so let's hope it pulls through.
Cool. I think hopefully I have good hopes for our late summer and fall.
Me too. Let's.
I'm trying to stay positive.
Me too. Well, if you want to take part in that too, let me know. I'd be like, even just as a support crew, and you want to make a weekend in LA and come talk shit to me while I'm dying on hour 8. Yeah, for sure.
I want to die too.
Let's do it. That hamstring rest it up.
Yeah.
Hey, we're starting the training plan and everything right now, so maybe we start a chat between me, you, and Leela where we start coming in on it.
Cool.
So I'll definitely keep you in the loop on that. I'm glad I mentioned it. Yeah. Awesome, Carody. Well, I made it going with the day. I'm meeting up with Coach Ryan this afternoon. Getting some training time in myself.
All right, like a dog.
So, let's do this again sometime.
Okay, thanks for chatting with me. I love you guys, and I miss you.
Yeah, we miss you too, Carody. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.